Well, hello and welcome to This Week in Dearborn. I'm Mayor Jack O'Reilly. Now, this is a special edition of the program that will focus on the storm that happened on August 11th and the consequences that we're dealing with. During this event, Dearborn was one of many cities in the area to receive a record amount of rain. The storm dropped 6 inches of rain in 2 hours in several areas of town and resulted in basement flooding or sewer backups in an estimated 40% of the homes and businesses here in Dearborn. That's a record we've never seen before. That's a number we've never seen before. The event caused extensive damage to Oakwood Hospital, for example, and forced them to move their emergency operations to another area of the hospital. Now, I had the opportunity to tour the affected area with Governor Snyder and Congressman Dingell in an effort to help secure funds to help with the huge job of rebuilding the entire lower floor of the hospital.
Well, what we're doing right now is trying to get all the damage assessments done. I've declared a state of emergency at the state level. Now we're working hard to get federal assistance and potentially a presidential declaration. So that's the process we're going through. And it was important to tour here in terms of Oakwood. It's a tremendous community asset that suffered awful damage. And I really want to compliment for their response times to get back up and operating as quickly as they did, taking care of patients. They're really to be complimented. And then again, all the emergency services people in Dearborn have done a tremendous job, I'm sure with the public service people, public works people. So that's what we need, are everyone coming together, even at the individual street level. Neighbors helping neighbors. I was just in Southgate helping, do debris cleanup, throwing trash away and other things. And when I say trash, I hate to say it was precious family memories. That's now trash. That's awful. So let's work together through this tough time.
Since the storm hit, damage assessment crews have been out in neighborhoods documenting the impact of the storm and the dramatic basement flooding that followed. The crews are made up of city employees, fire cadets, police explorers, and volunteers from our Citizens Emergency Response Team, CERT. And so we want you to know, because they will be identified. If people come around and they don't identify themselves as part of the city, working for the city, you're going to want to ask them, because the people you want to deal with in this regard, in terms of documenting this, are the city employees who we have out in the field. They are detailing the damages to property, and we're going to use that to support our emergency declaration that I issued last week. Now, the emergency declaration and documentation of damage are necessary steps we have to take to potentially securing federal aid for our city and for our residents. No federal aid has been allocated yet. That process is still ongoing. But these crews are still out photographing the piles of material set on the curbs for trash pickup as part of the documentation. And if you filed any kind of claim, as we ask everybody to do, they will also ask residents for permission to enter the homes to photograph damage in basements. Now, this is voluntary. You don't have to do it. We're just trying to build the case. Okay. Residents may choose to allow the teams to enter their homes or decline. Residents can also choose to take pictures of the flood damage in their basement and submit them to the city. The more documentation of damage across the city, the stronger will be the cities, and therefore the counties, and therefore the states' case when we go to the Federal Emergency Management Agency and ask them to allocate resources to this region to deal with this terrible flooding. Now, the damage assessment will continue all this week. All residents who experience flooding due to storm should contact the Dearborn Sewage Division at 943-2042. Now, this is very important, 943-2042, because we want the city to be able to have accurate data about where the flooding occurred. Now, this is not only for reporting situation, but it's also so we can begin to look at, what happened where, why. I mean, that's all part of this unraveling and trying to figure out what we do next, and also, what is eligible for funding and so on. So, in addition, residents wanting information about how to clean up their flooded basement should visit the city's website at cityofdearborn.org and look for information on basement flooding. There you're going to find instructions on how to file a claim with the city for property damaged by the flooding. Specific conditions apply for potential payments, and those are outlined on the website. Now, this is all controlled by federal law and by extension state law, but we want everybody that can to participate in this process. And an important thing too is to know when you're down there not to cause any health hazards for you or your family members by not knowing how to go about trying to do the cleanup, knowing what came in. I mean, there's a variety of things that happen. Water came in, obviously, from back up in the water collection system. Sewage may have come in some homes, so that's another issue. And water may have come in through the ground level and come into the basement through different ways because the ground was so saturated and the water had nowhere else to go. So those are all issues that have to be examined. Now, our DPW crews have been working long hours. We're working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, collecting all of the debris from the storm.
We've had crews out picking up the bulk trash on the road with the loaders. We have the packers also out picking up the trash. We've had probably a good 20 people on the crew working, clearing trash. Ballpark figure to date, probably about 75 tons of trash we've picked up since, I want to say, Wednesday. Today, I bet we've gotten, a good 25, maybe even 50 tons. Republic crews are out. They brought in extra trucks to take care of the bulk waste as well. So we'll be following behind them, getting the larger material like the couches and the large building material that they can't handle. And I really feel that next week we'll have a really good handle on the debris out there.
And we had about 3,000 homes. It might be a little bit more. This is the worst event Dearborn's ever had. The most we've seen before is a couple of hundred homes get water in the basement. So we're asking for everybody's patience. So if you could keep your cars off the street, it just makes our job a little bit easier. The yard at 2951 is open. So if you have some things that we're not getting to right away, or you already got it in a truck and you can drive down to the DPW yard, please do that. We will be taking it all week long. So please do that if you can. Well, we've been working 10 to 12-hour days trying to first inspect areas where the flooding was taking place, try to get it off the streets, try to communicate with the residents about what's going on and how to handle the issue in their basements. We have Republic. The mayor's agreed to hire about 20 more trucks. They're working all over the city. So we have 20 of our own staff. We couldn't hardly keep up with this. It's so extraordinary. So Republic is working on it too. We have the equivalent of a small army in the street right now. We're hoping in the next 2 weeks this will all be clear. It'll be out of your lives and you'll be dealing with the cleanup and with us on what kind of help that we can get people monetarily and otherwise.
Residents who have not already done so should put their trash on the curb regardless of their usual collection day. We're going to keep going through, we're going to keep cycling. It takes time because there's so much. We've never in the history of Dearborn had this much cleanup that we've had to do. So we're just telling people, get it out there, be patient, we're going to get to it, and we're going to come back. I mean, so I know some people think, oh my gosh, they came through, it's too late. No, we're going to come back. And there is no fee for the bulk pickup of flood damaged items, and crews will be out collecting debris until everything has been picked up. So again, we're going to get to it. I know it's unpleasant having it out there, but we need it out there so we can keep at it. We can know where it is. We can get back to places and identify, even if we've been through a couple of times, which is already happening, we'll want to get whatever is put out. You can also, we've kept the yard open. Occasionally we've opened the yard on Greenfield, the Public Works yard on Greenfield has been opened on Saturdays for you to bring anything out there. We're extending that to every day. So if you have stuff, you want to get rid of it, and you want to take it in your own conveyance, your truck or whatever, and dump it there, that's perfectly fine, and that will be open. Now, one other item I would like to mention is that I have issued a declaration prohibiting curbside scavenging of trash while crews are still cleaning up from the severe basement flooding. Now, due to health and safety reasons, we cannot have people digging through piles of trash that may have been contaminated by sewage. Also, reports have come in about scavengers creating litter by sorting through the materials, throwing them aside, off the easement on the sidewalks and roads. The city ordinance already prohibits curbside scavengers from creating litter and scattering trash while looking for discarded flood-damaged items. So scavengers can be charged with a misdemeanor crime if they are littering. The maximum penalty is $500 or 93 days in jail. Residents should call the non-emergency police line number at 943-2241 or the anonymous suspicious activity hotline, and that's 943-3030, 943-3030, to report littering by scavengers or whatever you see going on, and to let police know if they are seeing scavengers in their neighborhoods, sorting through flood damaged materials, anything that's been put out for pickup by the city. We are not allowing that to occur during this time of emergency. I've done this under the emergency rules. I'll be asking the council to then now support that going forward. And so we're really going to take a strong stand on that issue. Now again, if your home was damaged due to the August 11th storm, make sure you report it by phone at 943-2042, 943-2042, or go on the city's website at cityofdearborn.org and follow the directions on filling out a property damage form. If you have any questions, you can email me at askthemayor@CI for city, code for city, spell out Dearborn, .mich for MI for Michigan, and .US for United States. Now this has already been a long cleanup process, and our crews will continue to work hard until all the debris has been picked up, and they really are putting in a great effort. So if we haven't gotten to your street yet, be patient and we will get the job done. So I'm Mayor Jack O'Reilly. We're all going to pull through this together. Sometimes these catastrophes bring out the best in us and our neighbors, and that's what we have to focus on. Let's get the job done, get back to our regular lives, get rid of the debris, and then in the aftermath we'll sort through everything, and hopefully we won't have to see this kind of record storm again. Thank you.